Today we're going to be going over my Zoroark deck post April 10th rotation. We're going to be going over my deck list and how I'm going to be playing it once the rotation kicks along this coming Friday. Stay tuned, guys. So before we begin with the deck profile, I just wanted to let you guys know, thank you for checking out the post Ascended Hero list of the Zoroark list. I got a lot of feedback from you guys, as well as just overall in my own testing with the last bits of the remnants of the 2025-2026 rotation. But now we're getting ready for the 2026 and 2027 format of Pokemon, and I wanted to showcase what I am currently testing and currently running as we get to that point. So before we begin with this deck profile, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, crack that like button, and hit the notification if you want to see more videos like this. I will be doing more post rotation deck lists because I've been in the cave per se, kind of testing out different ideas, and I have some deck lists that I want to showcase. So we're going to start off with Zoroark because it's my baby. It's a deck that I just overall really enjoy, and I took this list. It took me a couple weeks to kind of nail down what I want right now, and this is right now kind of a rough draft. Not a rough draft, but a much more refined draft of what I'm running moving forward. I will be making adjustments as the meta develops. So without further ado, let's get onto the deck profile. So we're going to start off with the Pokemon line. So we're still playing the 4 Zorua with the 4 Zoroark. So in testing right now, I am running this lineup because obviously it's kind of staple if you're going to run Zoroark. I know Tord has been testing a slot box variant, but I wanted to keep this a little bit more streamlined, and I got some ideas after researching and looking at deck lists and testing myself. This idea came from looking at Liam Halliburton's deck list. So you're going to start see some very similar ratios. So I play not only the 4/4 line, but I also play 2 Zekrom, a very important attacker since it allows us to basically close out 300 over 210 HP attackers really easy, like the Ogrepons, as well as it just helps us close our hard matchups where we normally would have to 2-shot. And because we're playing the Zekrom, it helps kind of clean up our Pokemon line. Just from assuming, as you can see, I'm playing 1 Reshiram. I'm not playing the Darmanitan line moving forward because since we don't have reversal energy, I don't see the reason to justify its existence in the deck since we can't use it as a secondary attacker, and we're going to kind of go all in on the Zoroark engine. So it makes more sense to just cut that line, even though I've seen Japan still play it even post rotation, but they've been cutting it to a 1/1 line. And in my testing, I realized the Darmanitan, it's nice, but it's situational that it's mostly a brick in most cases, and I had to drop it. So I'm playing just a 2/1 line of its support attackers, which is the Zekrom and Reshiram. If you're not familiar with Zekrom, he has the first attack, which is Shred, which does 70 damage and it ignores abilities, and then the infamous Rampaging Thunder, which does 250. And then obviously we have the Reshiram with the powerful Rage, which is basically Outrage, and then also Virtuous Flames for 170. So moving forward, since you have these 2 attackers, you're most likely going to prioritize in cases where you can guarantee the 1-hit KO and you can pivot to the next Zoroark with End's Castle. You're going to prioritize the Rampaging Thunder or the Shred. But in matchups where you can 2-shot, you can safely 2-shot, then for example Dragapult, I feel like End's Reshiram is just the primary attack that you'll use in those matchups. In other matchups, you'll just pivot between the 2 based on the situation, and that just requires you to just have understanding of your matchups, which is one of the reasons why I feel like I've seen some lists kind of agree with what I'm doing, which is cut the Darmanitan and just play these. And I feel like right now in my testing, it's been just perfect. Then we play 1 Pheasantipede. I'm going to save this tech, but I play 1 Petron EX, and then a new tech that I'm putting in is Lily's Clefairy. The reason why I'm playing Lily's Clefairy is it's an easy two energy attacker that we can add into this deck, which will help us against our worst matchup, which is Mega Lucario. And this hits Mega Lucario for weakness. So if they fully bench out and they're underprepared, and we, let's say, soften up one of the Mega Lucarios, but he has a fresh one, we can kill the fresh one with the Clefairy. And if the other Lucario has enough damage counters, we can just clean it up with the Zoroark. Because in most Lucario lists, Lucario is just the attacker. It's going to be the preferred attacker, and Clefairy just helps punish that matchup really easy and helps equalize it for us. So we play a 1 Clefairy, which means we're also playing Psychic Energy. To continue on with the lineup, I'm also playing 2 Badoo. I managed to get the illustration rares from Ascended Heroes. So I'm playing 2 copies because it's becoming all the more apparent to me in my testing post-rotation that item lock is just an important aspect in order to help for slower decks, in order to help develop their boards, because you want to prevent your opponent, especially in your worst matchups, from developing their board, so that you can kind of maintain the advantage and get tempo. For example, against grass decks, since they rely on bug catcher's net, Pokepad, Buddy Poffin, all those consistency items to help get their game going. If you could just lock them out for as long as you can, you eventually can capitalize on their slowing down tempo and just take early KOs on vital Pokemon like Bulbasaur, Meganium, and possibly Ogerpon if you can. Next, I play 1 Shaman. This is a tech that I'm playing against Arboliva, because Arboliva will try to target down my bench as often as it can, and this prevents it. It also stops Mega Starmie, since it can do 50 to my basics, and you want to protect the Zoruas, the Zekroms, as well as the Badoos from being knocked out quickly from bench snipes. And since I've been seeing more of this being creeped up in the list, it makes it more of the reason why I just cut the Darmanitan line, because you can't Flame Body Cannon if they have the Flower Curtain on board. So I decided to just cut the Darmanitan line and just went for more control build. And then since we're playing a control build, we still got to play the Monkey Dory. I'm only playing 1 right now. I'm testing 1 because I'm only playing 6 energy. But let's say if the demand does require it in my testing that I need to play a second one, I may cut the Badoo to fit the second one and then add in another energy, since I'm playing 9 energy in the deck right now. 8 energy in the deck at the moment. So that's it for the Pokemon. So we're playing 18 Pokemon at the moment. I'll move that aside. Next, we're going to go to the supporter line. So we're going to start off. I managed to get my copies of this, which is 4 SAR Lily's Clefairy. I mean, Lily's Clefairy, Lily's Determination. And it's probably one of the best supporters moving forward. Being able to shuffle your hand and draw 8 is just really good early game. And then just being able to draw 6 when your hand gets small and you're ahead of the game is just really helpful. It's basically Cynthia, but on crack. And then next we play 3 Serrano. Since we lost a lot of consistency with the hit of Nest Ball, as well as relying basically on Pokepad, Buddy Poffin to search our non-Roblox Pokemon, we needed some way of quickly searching for our Roblox, our EXs, and Serrano just fits the gap. So we're playing 3 Serrano. I'm also playing still playing 3 Boss's Orders. I may put this up to 4 if I can justify making cuts, but right now 3 is fine. But I do find myself wanting to play a 4th, and we'll have to see once we get the special red card, because I am playing 1 copy of Judge for the Hand Disrupt, and then 1 copy of Black Belt's Training. So that's it for my supporters. I'm only playing 12 supporters. So we're gonna move on with the items. So we're gonna be playing right now 4 Buddy Poffin and 4 Pokepad. This is right now the most important. These are the 2 most important items in this deck, because it just helps you consistently get your non-Roblox Pokemon onto the stage and develop your board. You just have to be very strategic, especially now that item lock is becoming more and more prevalent. But right now, like the move right now is to go first, ever since we lost a lot of our going second options post rotation. So right now you need to maximize in your consistency, and right now I'm just running a 4-4 line. I am playing one Ultra Ball because it's still a nice consistency card, but you don't need it as often since you didn't have Pokepad to help search for most of your non-rule blocks, including your evolutions, if you decide to play the Darmanitan line. Next we play 4 ends PP up. So this is an idea I got from watching one of the Orlando regional deck lists. One of the players actually played 4 ends PP up, and I'm right now trying to test it because it allows us to help not only set up our end Zoroark, but indirectly we can set up our Clefairy, because we can attach a Psychic using to one of our Pokemon using ends PP up, mainly attach it to one of the Zoroarks, and then energy switch it onto the Clefairy, and then all we have to do is just hard attach a darkness energy from the discard from our hand to it, and you have a free attacker with the Clefairy. So we're playing 4 because there will be some situations where I have to do that play, and I still want to be able to have energy recursion to basically accelerate onto the Zoroark when I can just use that as my attacker. And plus, in a drawn out late game, I've noticed I'm starving in energy sometimes when both me and my opponent are grinding each other out. So this helps me in the grind game, and it's just really helpful. And then I also play 2 Night Stretcher, 1 Ultra Ball, 1 Energy Switch, and then for my ace spec of choice, I play 1 Unfair Stamp. Right now, Unfair Stamp is just the best ace spec moving forward because we do lose Iono. So the only form of hand disrupt right now that we have at the moment is Judge and Unfair Stamp. So we need to, so in my testing, I needed to just slot this in until we get more options like for punishing and hand disruption. Unfair Stamp is the go-to ace spec. And since we're playing Petron, we play 2 Binding Mochi, and then our stadium of choice is 2 Ends Castle and 1 Team Rocket's Watchtower. I'm playing 1 Team Rocket's Watchtower only because I am all the more wary against Terra Box decks, because they can still play, they still have a lot of consistency with, even if they lose, like a lot of decks lost Pidgeot as their main consistency engine. You have things like Fan Rotom, which can get you either the Dunsparce or the Noctowl, which is usually going to be for Terra Box. The Dunsparce is for Alakazam decks. So by having this here, you just stun lock those colorless Pokemon, and you get to basically slow them down. So you need to play this. And then let's say stage 2 decks do become more prevalent, I may cut an Ends Castle for a Gravity Mountain just so I can have answers for each matchup, because this is just here for utility. And right now I'm just like testing as if right now all we need to focus on is consistency and utility. But if the meta does develop, I will be flexing the ratio of stadiums in this deck. So that's it for the trainers, supporters, and items, as well as tools and stadiums. I keep on forgetting about that. They've divided up the tools and items. Our energy count is pretty simple: 6 darkness and then 2 psychic. I would play a prism energy, but in my testing right now, being able to just ends PP up a psychic onto one of my Pokemon and then just energy switching it onto the Clefairy makes it a lot easier than just hard attaching, because you're gonna have to hard attach the dark energy anyway. So why not like make it easy and have options to either ends PP up either one and then just hard attach the other. So it helped kind of like simplify the game plan, and overall it's just like really easy. I hope you guys like this video. I really like Zoroark. It's one of my favorite deck lists. I'm in decks to play this rotation, but I do happen to have a few others that I'm going to be profiling. I will be profiling a Dragapult list that I've been kind of messing around with, as well as a what is it? My I'm gonna be revisiting my Ceruledge list, as well as showcasing a couple other ones that I have been cooking. But I wanted to keep that in the back burner because honestly, there's a lot that I have to kind of clean out. So I hope you guys like this video. The next Pokemon video that definitely is going to be posted is a Mega Lucario list, because I happen to have already got the shell that I want ready and I want to showcase that. I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Also crack that like button again, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace out and stay on point, guys.